Thanks for joining again today. I'm Cleofe, your host at the Cleofe Podcast YouTube channel, and I'd like to present you with a deep dive that emphasizes the profound spiritual significance of Muharram, the first month of the Islamic calendar, which is often overlooked by Muslims. It asserts that Muharram is not merely a date, but a divine invitation for spiritual renewal, marked by historical events like the deliverance of Prophet Musa, Moses, and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein, both celebrated on Ashura, the 10th day. This deep dive argues that ignoring this sacred time reflects a spiritual disconnect and a failure to align with Allah's rhythm, urging believers to re-engage with the Islamic calendar as a spiritual map for guidance and purpose. It highlights that honoring Muharram through acts like fasting and reflection is a spiritual reset and an opportunity to reconnect with faith, emphasizing its importance for both individual believers and the community across generations. Please like and subscribe as we move on. Hey, Jack and Wilson, the floor is yours.
It's funny how we mark time, birthdays, anniversaries, those big project deadlines at work.
Oh, yeah, they're all circled on the calendar, right? Reminders pop up. Maybe there's even a countdown.
Exactly. We make a fuss. But then there's this incredibly significant time that arrives, and honestly, it often just slips right past us, almost silent.
It's a real paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're talking about Muharram, the first month of the Islamic year. But, just calling it the first month doesn't quite capture it.
No, it feels like there's more to it.
Definitely. Our source for this deep dive, the Light of Islam channel, they really emphasize its unique status. It's called the Month of Allah. That's huge.
The Month of Allah. Wow.
Yeah, mentioned right in the Quran like that. No other month gets that title. It's one of the sacred ones.
Okay, so that's exactly what we want to dig into today. Our mission here is to really unpack the essence of Muharram and that central day, Ashura.
Right. Understand the history, the spiritual meaning.
And maybe understand why it seems so easy to forget it in our busy lives. It's about trying to tune back into that sacred rhythm,
Absolutely. And we're drawing our insights, like you said, from that YouTube transcript, Muharram's true meaning and why it's being forgotten.
So the source kicks off with this stark contrast you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
We're so on top of secular dates, birthdays, deadlines.
Meticulous, even.
Yeah. And yet, the start of Allah's calendar, poof, it can just vanish, like it wasn't even there.
It's like a blind spot, a kind of collective amnesia, almost.
A disconnect. It really hits home. If being Muslim is something we express outwardly, in how we act or dress, what does it signal when something so foundational to our spiritual clock just passes us by internally?
Well, the source puts forward this really interesting idea. It frames it less as a judgment and more like an internal question, a prompt.
Like a nudge.
Exactly. Like asking yourself, are you truly Muslim if you ignore Muharram? Not to condemn, but to make you reflect. Especially now when identity can sometimes feel like just a label. It's an invitation, really, to come back, realign, start fresh.
An invitation. I like that framing. It feels less heavy.
And Muharram itself facilitates that. It doesn't burst onto the scene. No fireworks, no countdown clocks, no special lights.
It's quiet. Dignified, almost.
That's a good word for it. It doesn't beg for attention. But it absolutely deserves it. It's one of those 4 sacred months the Quran mentions: Dhul-Qa'dah, Dhul-Hijjah, Rajab, and this one, Muharram.
Months set aside for peace and deeper focus.
Precisely. And Muharram leads the way. It sets the spiritual tone, supposedly, for the entire year coming up.
Okay, so if it's meant to set the tone, what's the impact when it just fades into the background? When we treat it like, I don't know, like February or something, just another month. What are we actually missing?
Well, the source suggests this kind of spiritual forgetfulness is sneakier than we think. It's not loud. It just creeps in.
It's slow fade.
Yeah, like indifference whispering, one missed moment, one ignored month, and suddenly that feeling of sacredness starts to feel distant, abstract. Faith, the source argues, is fundamentally about responding to Allah.
Right.
And ignoring this specific call, this start of his month, is described as being silent when you were supposed to speak. It's not just missing a date, it's missing a divine cue.
A divine cue. That connects to the idea of time itself having a purpose, right?
Exactly. The source is really clear. Time isn't random. Our months, our years, they aren't just convenient human inventions, they're part of a divine design.
Like a map.
Yeah, the Islamic calendar is presented as a kind of spiritual map, guiding us. showing us where we are, maybe where we need to go next in our journey.
And the starting point of that map is pretty significant too. Caliph Umar. He didn't pick the Prophet's birthday or a big victory.
No, he chose the hijra, the migration.
Which was tough. Sacrifice, struggle, leaving everything behind.
Exactly. It highlights trust, resilience. It tells you right from the start that this timeline, this spiritual map, is built on these deep spiritual movements, not just worldly successes. It's about moving from difficulty towards faith.
It's fascinating, too, that even before Islam, the pre-Islamic Arabs recognized these monks as special. They stopped fighting.
They did. They had a sense of their sanctity. Islam then confirmed that and, well, elevated it, filled it with deeper spiritual purpose, encouraging worship, reflection.
Yet for so many of us today, it's the Gregorian calendar that dictates our rhythm, isn't it?
It really does. We know the secular holidays without thinking. Fiscal quarters, school terms.
Right. And the moon rises, a new Islamic month begins, but maybe we don't even look up. We stay tuned to the world's frequency, not necessarily Allah's.
And that disconnect has a cost. The source talks about the lunar rhythm itself teaching us something. The waxing, the waning. Yeah, cycles, peaks of light, valleys of shadow. The idea that after hardship, ease comes. Ignoring Muharram isn't just missing a ritual, it's like missing a beat in that natural divine rhythm. Living out of sync.
Adrift, almost.
Kind of, yeah, without that spiritual compass pointing true north.
So how do we get back in sync? What does this alignment actually look like, according to the source?
It comes down to presence. Real, conscious presence. The source has this powerful line, attention is the currency of love. What you honor, you pay attention to. Think about how much attention we give other things, our phones, shows, work.
Yeah, endless attention sometimes.
So what does it say if this divine invitation, Muharram, just gets scrolled past without a second thought? It's calling for a presence of heart, mind, and soul, directing that valuable currency, our attention, where it truly matters.
Okay. And within this month, Muharram, there's a focal point, right? Ashura.
Yes, the 10th day, Ashura. And this day is particularly potent because it holds like two distinct rivers of meaning flowing through it, two major historical legacies converging on the same date.
Two rivers. Let's trace the first one. This is the story of Prophet Musa, Moses.
Right. It's epic stuff. Musa and his people backed against the Red Sea. Pharaoh's army charging down looks impossible.
Yeah, desperation.
And then, boom, Allah intervenes. The sea parts, deliverance, freedom. It's this incredible story of salvation against all odds.
And how does that connect directly to Muslim practice?
Well, when Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, arrived in Medina, he noticed the Jewish community there fasting on that day, Ashura.
Oh.
He asked them why. They said, this is the day Allah saved Musa and his people from Pharaoh. So the prophet's response was profound. He said, we have more right to Musa than they do.
So he affirmed that connection.
Absolutely. He then fasted and encouraged the Muslims to fast as well. Later, he expressed a wish to also fast the 9th day, Tasu'a, to distinguish the Muslim practice, but the core connection remain. So fasting Ashura becomes the symbolic act.
Like crossing our own Red Sea.
In a way, yes. An act of gratitude. A reminder that if your trust is truly in Allah, no obstacle, no pharaoh in your life can ultimately crush you.
That's powerful. Okay, so that's one river, Musa's deliverance. What's the second river flowing through Ashura?
Centuries later, same date, 10th of Muharram, a completely different setting, but just as monumental. This is the stand of Imam Hussein.
The Prophet Muhammad's grandson.
His beloved grandson, yes. Standing on the plains of Karbala, hugely outnumbered, facing a regime he saw as corrupt, as distorting the core message of Islam.
And his stand wasn't about power for himself.
No, absolutely not. It was about principle, loyalty to truth. He saw the legacy of his grandfather being twisted, and he refused to endorse it, even implicitly through silence or allegiance.
He spoke out.
He did. His words were clear. I did not rise to spread evil or oppression, but to reform the ummah, the community of my grandfather. I want to enjoin good and forbid evil. It was purely about upholding justice against tyranny.
But the outcome was tragic.
In worldly terms, yes. A massacre. His companions, his family, sons, brothers, nephews, even his infant child martyred, denied water in the scorching desert. It's heartbreaking.
Yet his spirit
never wavered. And that's the point. Karbala, through its pain, became this enduring symbol, a testament that truth isn't decided by majority vote or military might, that real victory isn't always about surviving. Sometimes it's in the sacrifice itself, for the sake of Allah.
So Ashura holds both these stories, Musa's deliverance and Hussein's sacrifice.
Exactly. like a mirror showing two faces of strength derived from faith. Musa's story shows, you could say, Allah's mercy that delivers, that part sees. Hussein shows the courage to stand for truth, even when utterly alone in the desert.
Both forms of victory in their own way.
When done for Allah, yes, that's the key the source emphasizes.
Now, there can be some confusion around Ashura, sometimes linked to sectarian divides. How does the source address that?
It tackles it directly. It clarifies that Ashura, the fast itself, is rooted firmly in the Sunnah, the Prophet's own practice. It's not exclusive to one group.
So letting tensions cause us to abandon it.
It's essentially letting division rob us of our shared heritage. The source warns against that. And similarly, it cautions against remembering Karbala only as a source of grief without grasping its power as a stand for reform, for justice. That misses the deeper lesson.
So the remembrance should be active, not just passive grief.
Right. The call from Ashura isn't just ritual. It's fast, yes, but also reflect. Pray, yes, but also purify your intentions. Mourn the tragedy, yes, but let it move you to action in your own life.
What kind of action?
Hussein's sacrifice was for direction, wasn't it? To uphold good. So the call is to find that courage within ourselves, to stand against the tyrants in our own hearts, ego, apathy, injustice we might tolerate.
And this connects back to the whole month of Muharram.
Absolutely. The source beautifully describes the entire month as the soil in which that stand of Ashura is planted. It's the preparation, the context. It's not just about remembering something that happened long ago. Muharram is for active recommitment right now. It's like getting a clean slate.
A spiritual reset button.
Pretty much. And because it's a sacred month, everything carries extra spiritual weight. Every prayer, every fast, every moment you spend reflecting.
So fasting in Muharram isn't just fasting.
It's layered.
Yeah.
You're remembering Musa's freedom, you're honoring the Prophet's practice, and you're symbolically walking alongside Hussein in his commitment to truth.
Yeah.
It elevates the act.
Even small things.
Especially small things, like deciding not to snap back in anger or lowering your gaze from something you shouldn't see. Those acts become, well, mighty when you do them consciously within this sacred time. It's like doing good deeds in the house of sacred time. Allah honors that intention.
But it's so easy for this sacredness to just fade away. You mentioned spiritual decay earlier?
Yeah, and the source stresses that this neglect is usually quiet. It's not a dramatic rebellion, it's indifference. It just seeps in. Forgetfulness.
Like rust.
A quiet erosion, yeah. Until the sacred parts of our calendar become almost invisible in our day-to-day. And faith can start to feel a bit hollow, less vibrant.
And the Gregorian calendar just keeps rolling, dominating everything. School years, financial reports.
It sets the rhythm for the world, doesn't it? We grow up with December being the big finale, fireworks for January 1st. Muharram often passes unmarked. But Allah's calendar, that's the map the heart should follow.
So forgetting Muharram is like losing your bearings.
Missing the rhythm, losing direction. You end up just following the loudest noise, the world's beat, instead of that divine pulse.
But even if we forget, even if we drift.
Here's the amazing part. Allah's mercy, it's astonishing, the source says. He sends Muharram anyway, every year, patiently.
Another chance.
Another door opening, another breath of sacred time. It just waits. It welcomes you back like you never left. That enduring invitation we talked about.
That really highlights our responsibility, though. Especially towards the next generation.
Absolutely. Forgetting sacred time isn't just a personal lapse. It becomes a generational loss. If parents don't know or don't mark the Islamic calendar, how will the kids learn? It's up to us to keep that rhythm alive.
How? What does that look like practically?
Simple things, really. Acts of attention. Fasting a day together as a family. Telling the stories of Musa and Hussein in dinner. Just acknowledging, hey, it's Muharram. A sacred month has begun. Making it visible.
Making it conscious.
Exactly. Because honoring sacred time, choosing to live by Allah's rhythm instead of just the world's, it's a statement, a public stance in a way.
And does that change things, living in that alignment?
The source suggests it transforms everything. Ordinary days feel different, charged with potential. Prayer feels more connected, more alive. Time itself stops feeling like just pressure and starts to feel like light, guidance.
Wow. So wrapping this up, Muharram is clearly so much more than just the start of a new year on a different calendar.
Oh, absolutely. It's a powerful divine signal, a call to pause, reflect, return. It's this incredible invitation for a spiritual reset.
A chance to tune back into Allah's timing, Allah's rhythm.
Precisely. It sets the stage for the whole year if we let it.
So the question left for all of us listening is, well, how will you respond to that quiet whisper of Muharram this year? What does it really mean for you to start this journey walking in Allah's light, guided by His rhythm.
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.